So Cooper, I think that's good. I think that's good. You happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Okay. You want to see something else?
Yeah, what else you got?
It's pretty cool.
All right.
Okay. Now I don't know if it's anything for the shoot, but you got to see it. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Want to shoot it?
Check it out.
All right. Come on. Follow me. Watch your head. So, you know, I've been around a long time. It's hard to tell because of my young looks, but yeah, been around a long time and been in Dainese stuff a long time. And I got a couple of old school throwback things I wanted to show you, and it'll help everybody know why I appreciate this great deal we have with Dainese now, how much it means to me. The first one is probably 1993 or 4, and it's been up here. It's been in my storage forever. I don't wear it because we've been sponsored by different companies, but you can see it's this brand new Dainese, kind of a casual suit. It's got some impact absorbent armor in it, but it's not necessarily a riding jacket. But you can tell how good looking it is. And this was back in the day when these colors were the best. You know, it's just crazy paint colors on our bikes and our gear, our leathers was just crazy colors. And well, I haven't had this on, I don't know when I had this on before. But I was so proud of this jacket when I got this jacket, and Dainese got it to all the magazine guys. And I was at probably Sport Rider magazine back then. Man, I got this jacket. I wore it everywhere. I thought it was the greatest jacket. So I wanted to show you that because it's. I kind of laughed when got Dainese stuff. And then the next thing I want to show everybody is means the world to me, and it was given to me by Eddie Lawson. I'll get this out here. So how cool is this? It's a Eddie Lawson, Eddie #1, Eddie Lawson enduro jacket made by Dainese back in the day, and he wore it. You can see there's chain lube on it, spilled on it, and he wore it. I wore it a couple times after he gave it to me, and this is probably '86 or so, and I've never worn it since. It's just been hanging up in here. I had it up in another shop, just hanging up. And the Eddie Lawson deal, if you remember, a lot of you weren't around then. I know you weren't, Coop, but back in the '80s when Eddie started to win world championships, he and I got together and we wrote a column called Lawson's Lines. And every race, we would either talk on the phone from Europe, or when he came back to the States, we would get together and I would report on what happened in his racing. And I wasn't racing at the time. I was just a cub reporter, 24, 25 years old at Motorcyclist magazine. And he and I became friends, and his ways rubbed off on me in a lot of ways that I didn't even realize. You know, his ways of approaching the sport. He was extremely humble. You would never know that he was the best in the world unless you asked him, and he would then tell you he really had his life together, clean, separate. He really had his life together. And with Eddie, the way he went about racing really affected me. He could never make an excuse. We would talk, and the first thing I would say to him, I'd say, hey, tell me about the race. He goes, well, I got beat. And he would have left it at that. He would have just said, well, I got beat. And I'd say, yeah, I understand that. You got second or third or whatever he got. What happened? What went on? And then he would give the reasons and what happened and who beat him and why they did. But he was just so far away from being excusey. He was extremely humble. And he gave me stuff like this. I've got some other things in there. I've got some of the gloves he gave me back then in this pocket. These are not Dainese. These are Speedies. But if you want to look at one of the reasons that Eddie Lawson, for instance, had such a direct and definite approach to racing is because if you crash in these gloves, these were Grand Prix race gloves back in the early '80s, and if you crash in those gloves, look at them compared to what we have these days. In fact, they found out that these metal buttons actually just got really hot and burned the rider's palm. They discovered that. But this is the kind of thing. So when you look at someone like Eddie Lawson, for instance, America's only 4-time world champion, his approach to racing was because you jumped off in this stuff, it got pretty painful. And I got helped by a lot of people. Keith Code helped me a lot in my riding. Thomas Stevens helped me a lot in my riding, National Superbike champion. But I think Eddie Lawson and Freddie Spencer were the two people that really helped me the most. Eddie helped me before I went racing, and certainly got to know Freddie after I was done racing and teaching. But this jacket, to me, is one of the main reasons I'm super happy to be with Dainese now, because now I get to wear this and goof around, and maybe somebody will think I'm Eddie Lawson.
It's gorgeous. Thanks, Nick.